In the busy Ogbete main market, a real and large market in Enugu, Nigeria, if you asked about a woman named Nkoli, you will get a story. They wouldn't just tell you about the smooth ajidi, a kind of corn pudding, that she sold from her stall. They would tell you about her reputation. At 47, Nkoli had built a life for herself, but not with the money from her ajidi. No, her life was built by breaking up other women's homes and using the secrets of married men she tricked. For years, Nkoli was not interested in love or marriage. She only wanted married men. She played a dangerous game, leaving behind broken homes, trust and tears. She didn't respect marriage. She saw it as a cage she could open to get what she wanted. People in the market gossiped about her, telling angry stories about the men she had been with. But every game must end. Nkoli, who felt like no one could touch her, was about to go after a man who wouldn't just play her game. He was going to change the rules. She was about to meet her match. Nkoli's day started like any other trader's. Before the sun was high, she would be at her stall, setting up her leaf-wrapped agidi. Her setup was simple, a wooden table and a stool, but from her simple stall, she ran her dark games. She had a smile that could charm anyone, and a way of looking at a man that made him feel special in the crowded market. She was good at reading people and finding their weaknesses. She watched the men who passed her stall, not the loud, young men, but the older ones who had money. She knew the signs. Shoes that were expensive but old, showing a man trying to look rich. The way a man's eyes looked at her for too long. The look of boredom when he talked to his wife on the phone. These were the weak spots she knew how to use. Her method was like an art. It would start with a nice word. "Ah, Chief, that watch is beautiful. It shows you are a powerful man," she'd say with a sweet voice. The next day, she would give an extra ajidi, a small gift for my favorite customer. She made them feel important and wanted. Maybe for the first time in years, she wasn't just selling corn pudding. She was selling them a way to escape their lives. Once she had their attention, she pulled them in. She'd make up a problem, a sick mother, a landlord about to kick her out, or school fees for a child she didn't have. Her stories were great, sad stories, and she could cry whenever she wanted. The men, trapped in her game, would give her money. They weren't just paying for her problems, they were paying to be the hero in her story. Did she feel bad? No. To her, these men were not victims. If a man wants to cheat, she'd say to herself, why should I stop him? She thought their wives were foolish women who didn't take care of themselves or know how to keep a man's interest. She felt she was smarter and deserved more. The pain she caused was far away, something she never saw, so it never bothered her. One of her biggest targets was a man named Mr. Okafor. He was a government worker who acted important, but his eyes looked worried. Nkoli watched him for weeks. He always bought 2 ajidi, never smiled, and his shoulders were always down. She saw her next target. She started her plan. First, the smiles. Then, she asked questions about his day with a concerned look. She learned he was worried about money and couldn't finish the house he had been building for 5 years. This was her chance. A big man like you working so hard and you are still struggling, she said one afternoon, looking worried for him. It's this country. It doesn't reward good men. Mr. Okafor needed to feel good about himself, and he believed her. He started spending more time at her stall, telling her about his dreams, his problems, and his wife, who he said didn't understand him anymore. Nkoli listened, and he thought she was admiring him. Then, she made her move. She lied and told him her uncle was selling a piece of land for cheap, a great deal he would never get again. Mr. Okafor, so excited about owning land that he couldn't see the truth, did something terrible. He took the money his wife, Funke, had saved for years from her own small business and gave it all to Nkoli in a big envelope. Nkoli took the money and disappeared from his life. Her smiles stopped. Her stall was always busy when he came near. She stopped being warm and started acting cold. The result was terrible. When Funke found out the money was gone, their home fell apart. The truth came out, and Funke, with a broken heart, did something most wives had not. She went to the market. She found Nkoli laughing with another man. "Why?" Funke asked in a whisper. "Why would you do this to my family?" Nkoli's smile disappeared. She gave Funke a look of pure disgust. "I don't know what you are talking about," she said coldly. "If your husband has no sense, is that my fault? Go and ask him where your money is." As Funke turned to leave, feeling hopeless, she stopped and looked back. Her voice was quiet, but carried a chilling message. "You think you are winning," Funke said, as tears ran down her face. "You build your life on other women's tears. You are planting sad seeds. One day, you will have to harvest what you planted. You will meet someone who won't just take your money. They will take everything from you. You will meet your match." Nkoli just hissed and turned away. But Funke's words stayed in the air, like a warning waiting to come true. Funke's warning didn't stop Nkoli. This only made her more daring. Her next target was the biggest one she could find, Chief Adebayo. He was a local politician with fancy cars and a big ego. This time, her plan was different. She didn't act like a victim. With a man like Chief, she knew a challenge was better than asking for help. She acted confident, like she wasn't interested. She would ignore him and treat him like any other customer. For an important man like him, this was an insult. It worked perfectly. Chief was interested and annoyed that she didn't praise him, and he became obsessed. He sent his driver to buy her a agidi, but she said no. "If Chief wants my agidi, he can come himself," she said with a clever smile. Finally, he did. He walked proudly to her stall. "Woman," he said loudly, "you are being stubborn. What do you want?" Nkoli laughed. "I want nothing you can buy with just money, Chief. I am interested in respect." Chief understood this. He was hooked. Their relationship wasn't about feelings. It was a deal. He wanted the thrill of winning over the stubborn agidi seller, and she wanted his money. The money came pouring in. Chief didn't just give her cash. He rented a new apartment for her and bought her expensive clothes and gold bracelets. Nkoli changed a lot. She started looking down on the other traders. "You people are suffering because you don't use your brain," she once told a neighbor. The gossip in the market grew louder and angrier, but Nkoli didn't hear them. Her new money protected her. She had forgotten Funke's warning. She thought she was the player and everyone else was a game piece. She thought she was on top of the world, but she didn't know she was about to fall. The man who would finally bring her down wasn't her usual type. His name was Mr. Kalu. He was quietly handsome, but his eyes got Nkoli's attention. They were very sad. He drove a simple car and didn't talk much. "One agidi, please." "Thank you." This was a new challenge. His sadness interested her. It was a puzzle she wanted to solve, a weakness she thought she could use. She saw a rich man hiding his sadness, and she thought she could get a lot of money from him. She started to charm him. "Sir, you look like you carry all the world's problems on your shoulders," she said one day. He looked at her, really seeing her for the first time. "I do," he said simply. Over the next few weeks, she got him to tell her his story. He talked about his wife, Adana, and how they had grown apart. He made it sound like he was a lonely man in a bad marriage. Every word was a trap, but Nkoli, full of pride, only saw what she wanted to see. Another man ready to fall for her. "You need a woman who appreciates you," she whispered to him one evening. "Perhaps you are right," he said. He invited her to his home for dinner the next Saturday, telling her his wife would be out of town. Nkoli was so happy. This was her biggest win. On Saturday, She arrived at a beautiful house in a nice neighborhood. Mr. Kalu welcomed her in. He was charming, and everything was calm. "I am glad you came, Nikoli," he said. "There is someone I want you to meet." Nikoli frowned. "But you said your wife was away." "She is not my wife," a voice said from the doorway. A woman walked in. She was graceful and smart. Nkoli knew who she was from a photo on Mr. Okafor's phone. It was Funke, but she looked different now, stronger and more confident. Standing next to her was another woman with a sharp, intelligent look. "My name is Dr. Adana Kalu," the second woman said calmly. She was Mr. Kalu's wife. "I am a psychiatrist. The stories in the market might call this a game, but the truth is simpler. This is an intervention." The room felt cold. Nikoli looked at Mr. Kalu. The sadness in his eyes was gone, replaced by a cool, hard look. He hadn't been her target. He had been the trap. Dr. Kalu continued. "Mrs. Funke Okafor became my patient over a year ago. She was very depressed after what happened between you and her husband. I have heard your name, Nkoli, in my office many times. I have listened to the stories of the lives you've broken. My husband and I planned this, Doctor," Kalu explained. "We wanted you to see what you've done, not from a crying victim in the market, but here, where you can't lie your way out." Funke stepped forward. "I am not the same woman you insulted, Nkoli. Dr. Kalu helped me rebuild my life. I wanted you to see me, to see that we are real people." Nkoli couldn't speak. Her world was falling apart. The script she had used for years was now useless. "You see men as prizes and women as just part of the damage," Dr. Kalu said, her voice cutting through the quiet. "But what are you, Nkoli? At 47, you have an apartment paid for with another woman's sadness. You have no real friends, just customers. You have no love, just deals. You are completely alone. And you are scared that one day your charm will fail and you will have nothing. That day is today." Every word was like a punch. The predator had finally been forced to see herself, and the person looking back was not a powerful queen, but a lonely, empty woman. She had met her match, and it wasn't a man. It was the truth. The ride back from the Callis' house was a blur. The confident woman who walked into that house was broken, not by anger, but by the cold, hard truth. Dr. Kalu's words repeated in her mind, "You are completely alone." When she got to the expensive apartment, it felt different. The fancy furniture used to be a sign of her success, but now it just felt empty. It gave her no comfort. She didn't go to the market the next day, or the day after that. A week later, she returned, but she was a different Nkoli. The expensive clothes and gold were gone, replaced by a simple wrapper. She set up her stall like always, but the fire in her eyes was gone, and now there was just emptiness. She no longer smiled at the men who passed. The men who used to crowd around her now stayed away. The market traders watched. Their gossip were now a mix of shock, pity, and a feeling that she got what she deserved. She was no longer a proud lioness, but a quiet lamb. Her game was over. The silence around her was louder than any insult. Months passed, and then a year. The story of Nkoli's fall became another of the many stories told in Ogbete Market. The proud woman was now a quiet person that people hardly noticed. Interestingly, her business did not fail. People started buying her agidi not for her charm, but because it was good. She focused on her work, and it became her only purpose. She never became rich in the way she once dreamed. She moved into a small room closer to the market, but those who watched her closely saw the sad look in her eyes slowly turn into peace. She started having short, polite talks with the other market women. She was still alone, but not in the same lonely way. She had found a different kind of peace in her work, and in the simple honor of an honest life. And so, the story of Nkoli is a powerful reminder, A life built on the sadness of others will not last. It might look good for a while, but bad actions will always have bad results. Nkoli learned the hard way that real wealth isn't what you can take from others, but the peace you find in yourself. She chased power, but she learned that what she really wanted was peace, something her games could never give her. Her story reminds us all that sooner or later, we all have to face the results of our actions. Thank you for watching. The story of Nkoli is a deep story with a real warning. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is the most important lesson from her story? And what would you have done if you were in Dr. Kalu's position? If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more tales that teach us about life, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button.